Assalamu alaikum. Continuing on with my intention of not ignoring what's going on, but trying to connect some aspects with the words of Allah, because Allah says that these are the only words that are true. And He says, سَيُحِقَّ الْحَقِّ بِكَلِمَاتِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. Which means Allah has said in the Quran that the truth will be made verifiable. People are going to know it's the truth by His words. بِكَلِمَاتِهِ. His words, no one else's. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. You know, the mujrim is the criminal. A jarima is a crime. So we are witnessing a very severe ongoing crime now. And it doesn't matter who you blame, because it's a crime. It's genocide. It's deliberate. But who's responsible? Well, I'm American. I know that this is stemming from greed, number one, greed, but also vanity. Both of these things are from Satan. And you can say misstruing. They're not realizing that they themselves invented the nation state. It was only a couple of 100 years old. There were no nation states. They were empires. They were empires run by religion. So that's how you would identify yourself. You were from this empire or that empire, and everyone knew which ones were Christian, and which ones were Muslim, and which ones were Asian. Nobody, I guess, paid attention because they couldn't have the communication back then. But we had African empires, we had Asian empires, we had Catholic empires, we had Orthodox empires, we had Muslim empires. But this empire that they are seeking, and shall I say all of them together are complicit in this genocide? Yes, of course they are. So this is why I'm beginning with Surat Qasas right now, and I want you to pay attention to what Allah is saying, because remember, He said His words are the true words, not the journalists and not the politicians, not even the marchers with the placards. Can we please just go back to Allah's words and stop putting so much emphasis on what we're witnessing through the news media, any kind of media? And could we just really say La ilaha illallah and believe it? Meaning there's no power except Allah's power. So I found that this beginning of Surah Qasas, I've always loved it. And if you know the grammar, this is ongoing. This is not a past story. So I suggest, I'm only going to give you the first page, and then I'm going to say, go get your translated Quran free at any Islamic center. Because this story of Pharaoh and Moses, it hasn't changed. Through the ages, we have a Pharaoh and a Musa. We have an oppressing tyrant, more than one, and then we have a prophet who warns him. Now, Musa had the hardest job of all because he was dealing with the one they call Pharaoh. Allah named him Pharaoh. It comes from the verb fara'a, which means to divide. And it says here, he made his people Shia. He would put some up and some down and then switch it and put them up and them down. It's just like politics. It's not terrifying. It's not bad. It's actually good when you read Quran and you see how nothing has changed, human nature. But you can't just read it in English. That doesn't work. You have to learn Arabic, and it becomes much more alive, shall I say. It becomes much more convincing. Because Allah said through His words, remember? And they're in Arabic. Even though criminals hate it. Sorry. Sorry, criminals. Arabic is not going away. Although you would love it to go away. You want to destroy all those schools, you can, so that nobody will ever study Arabic anymore. Oh, how ridiculous is it that people actually believe that they can do things like this? Anyway, let's read. We'll start on the first page of Surah Qasas. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قاسم تلك آيات الكتاب المبين نتلو عليك من نبأ موسى وفرعون بالحق لقوم يؤمنون. These verses of this book are clear, and we will recite to you from the news of Moses, وفرعون بالحق, in truth, to the people who believe. إن فرعون علا في الأرض. Pharaoh was very high in the land. وجعل أهلها شيعا, and he made the people living under him Shia, factions, sectarian. يستضعف طائفة منهم, he would weaken a group of them. يذبح أبناءهم, and he would massacre their sons. ويستحيي نساءهم, and he would enliven. Comes from hay, make them lively. Oh yes, make the women lively. We know what that was for. So he slaughters the sons, makes the women quite active. إنه كان من المفسدين, because he was of those corruptors. Mufsidin. Fasad means corruption. ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين. Now this is why this is so important. After we are told how horrible was Pharaoh and what he did, Allah says, and we want to favor those who were made weak in the land, وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً, and make them leaders, وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ الْوَارِثِينَ, and they will inherit. Now, does this mean all the time? Well, if you know Arabic grammar, it does mean that, because I'm going to give you each verb and explain why. Now, in Arabic, we have two tenses. We have the past, and the second tense is referring to both present and future. So the past is clear by the letters and how they're structured, and the second tense that we would call present or future is also clear through the structuring of the letters. It's Arabic grammar. It's an adventure, which I'm not going to do right now except a part. But I hope I whet your appetite, because I'm going to ask you to finish this Surah Qasas. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I want you, because it is almost identical to the biblical narrative of Pharaoh and Moses. From the baby in the basket in the river to, well, I want you to do it. I'm not going to tell you the English because you already know it. If you're American, whether or not you were in Catholic school or what school you were in, you already know it. I'm pretty sure you do. So let's just say, when Allah says, نُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا, we want to favor those who استُضْعِفُوا. Istud'ifu, when it has ista, it means they were made weak. They were forcibly weakened. Fil ard. وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً, and we will make them leaders. وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ الْوَارِثِينَ. You see where it says نَجْعَلَهُمْ? This is a present and or future structure of this verb. So it happened, and it will continue to happen. وَنُمَكِّنَ لَهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ, and we will stabilize them, once again, present, future, tense, in the earth. وَنُوَارِي فِرْعَوْنَ وَهَمَانَ وَجُنُودَهُمَا مِنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَحْذَرُونَ. We will stabilize them in order to show Pharaoh or Haman. Haman means his right-hand man, like it would be, well, I don't want to use words like king and president and right. You know what I mean. The big boss and his right-hand man. They're on the same page. Allah says we want to show them what they were warned about and what they were worried about. Because remember, Pharaoh wanted to kill all the babies. Remember that part? Because he was afraid that one of them was going to take over his power. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى أُمِّ مُوسَى أَنْ أَرْضَعِهِ فإذا خفتي عليه فألقيه في اليم ولا تخافي ولا تحزني إنا رادوه إليك وجاعله من المرسلين. Well, we inspired the mother of Moses to nurse him, and then when you became fearful about him, throw him in the river. And do not fear and do not be sad, because we will return him to you, and we will make him of the messengers. وَالْتَقَطَهُ آلُ فِرْعَوْنَ وَأَلْتَقَهُ آلُ فِرْعَوْنَ لِيَكُونُوا لَهُمْ عَدُوًّا وَحَزَنًا إِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ وَهَامَانَ وَجُنُودَهُمَا كَانُوا خَاطِئِينَ. This will be the last verse because I want you to go get this and read it. We left off. وَالْتَقَطَهُ آلُ فِرْعَوْنَ. The people of Pharaoh found the baby. But Allah says, لِتَكُونَ لَهُمْ عَدُوٌّ وَحَزَنًا, to be an enemy to them and to make them sad. Truly, Pharaoh, listen to the three, وَهَامَانَ وَجَنُودَهُمَا كَانُوا خَاطِئِينَ. Pharaoh, his right-hand man, and his armies, Janud. It's always those three throughout the Quran. There will be the corrupt ruler, there will be his right-hand man, and then there will be his armies. Where would he be without them? Well, we'll soon find out. He's going to be himself drowned. Because you know about the opening of the Red Sea and all that. So I hope I've instilled in you a wish. If you can't do Arabic right now, no matter. You're going to get the translated Quran. And you're going to read all of Surat Qasas, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.